From LALATE News Headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
It's a big morning of mornings LALATE. The toast is toasting and the butter is buttering, and I have your fourth stimulus check update of 2021 today. Major breaking news about your fourth stimulus check. We'll be going over it in this recording. What happened yesterday? What happened this morning? Wow, really exciting, great news. We'll go over how much you're going to get in the fourth stimulus check and why the amount may be changed for less months of checks, but a faster cash infusion. It's all incredible, great news. Then we'll turn to the fifth stimulus package and why the fifth stimulus package may get an additional lift on top of what we initially thought. For SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, Veterans benefits reform, lifted up, but also potentially lifted up another major step thereafter. Wow, really great news to start a morning. And then we go to the big money land in your bank account automatically. Some that you have to get and some that's coming from two different sources at the same time. Wow, we are not just tracking checks, we're cashing checks. The toast is toasting, the butter is buttering. I'm here, you're here, let's get to it. This is a great morning of Mornings LALATE. Good morning, everybody. How are you? It is a beautiful Thursday morning here in Los Angeles. It's quite sunny, as you can tell, but it's totally beautiful. How's the weather where you are and where you tune in? I'd love to hear from you. This is LALATE, and we have big, exciting, great news about your fourth stimulus check updated 2021. We're going to go over that monthly stimulus check starting the month of July in this recording. How much you're going to get, when you're going to get it, and why the breaking news this morning made a fascinating twist for fourth stimulus. Wow. Then we get to fifth stimulus in the second half of this recording, and why there may be an additional step up of your benefits in January after the fifth stimulus lifts it up in the fall. We have all the exciting, great news this morning. In the middle of this recording, we have all the big money available and more money coming to you, some automatic, and it's coming from two different places. Wow. Great news across the board there as well. But first, subscribe. This is LALATE, the fastest growing and only 24-hour a day, 7 days a week financial news channel. Literally 24 hours a day now. It is live in the morning, as you are right now, taped in the afternoon, coming up this afternoon with afternoons and evenings LALATE, and then literally a 9 to 10 hour overnight feed, which just finished on crypto, which was a bombshell and a record number of viewers. Thank you for making us your home. But first, if you've not subscribed, please subscribe. Also, like this video, 2,000-3,000 likes. And if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Let's get right into the fourth stimulus check. Let's go over the amount of the fourth stimulus check, then the breaking news from yesterday and the breaking news from this morning. First, the House proposal, when considering the fourth stimulus check, is slightly different than the Senate proposal. But what I want you to focus in on this morning is the name, Jalapal. Talil and Jalapal wrote the fourth stimulus check monthly stimulus bill for House members. When they wrote it, Jalapal had over 100 signatures in support of the bill from House members. Remember that name, Jalapal, because I'll be coming back to it in a second. So how many months of stimulus checks would you get? The House proposal is the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. Senate proposal is from July to December. If you're in the live chat just after 9:15, get ready to vote House or Senate. And if you're watching it taped, vote House or Senate, but not just yet. Let me go over the breaking news first that could change your decision. The monthly amount, the House members, is $1,000 after the first month, $2,000 initially. Senate amount monthly is unknown, but word on the street is it's this. Wow, wow, wow. $2,000 a month over 6 months, $12,000. That is per person, folks. Incredible. Or $1,400 a month over 6 months. That's $8,400 a person. Now let's go over why the Senate proposal got support in the last 24 hours, starting on Thursday, and why the House proposal got an additional twist. First, this. Yesterday, more corporate America major Fortune 500 companies came out and said the mask mandate is lifted in their state. This followed Thursday's announcement from the CDC that you can lift the mask mandate for indoor and outdoor vaccinated people unless the local jurisdiction still has it. Well, New York lifted it on Wednesday, gone in the state of New York. California lifts it on June 15th, gone in the state of California on June 15th. And big corporations yesterday and continued all last week and this week, like Target, Home Depot, Lowe's, Ultra Beauty, lifted the mask mandate. So by all account, the pandemic may be over by the month of July when the bill goes to a vote in the House and Senate. Remember, the House proposal is pandemic plus 1 year. Well, if the pandemic's over, then the House proposal is 1 year, 12 months of stimulus checks. And 12 months of stimulus checks from the House members is $13,000. From the senators, over 6 months, it's potentially also $12,000. So now vote, House versus Senate. It looks pretty obvious that's the Senate because it's nearly the same cash infusion, just in half the amount of time. So who gets a forced stimulus check? You do. If you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, you do. If you make less than $75,000, you get the forced stimulus check. Married couple, $150,000 or less, you get the forced stimulus check. And household 4 or less, you get the forced stimulus check. Congratulations. What are the other details? Well, remember, I'm just a reporter. I just report the news. I'm not a legislator. Not my representation. It's their representation. They're writing the bill and they're voting on the bill. They represent the vote is in the month of July for the month of July, which means you would get the first check in July for July. There would be no waves of stimulus checks where you get a different check a different week depending on where you live. Nope, they don't have time for that. July in July, August in August, and away we go. Then, is it income? No, it's not income. Is there a different amount for people? No. So adult dependents, minor dependents, everyone else, same stimulus check, not taxable, but we don't know if it's taken out for child support. And that's your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. But remember that name Jalapal, because I have breaking news about that in just a second. Remember, this is a 2-bill, 2-step process. Let me first give you a preview of what's coming up in the second half of this recording. Yesterday, the Federal Reserve's minutes from its April meeting, which occurred before the latest economic and inflationary data was released, came out, and the number was surprising. Remember, it impacts fifth stimulus because fifth stimulus has an inflationary benchmark. What is fifth stimulus? It's in September, and they'll raise your benefits. Whose benefits? Yours. SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, survivor benefits, and more. And then the next year, they would tie the benchmark to inflation. So in December this year, you get a letter saying, hi, your benefits are moving up next year. So how much are they moving up? Well, get ready for the great news on that one. It's coming up in the second half of this recording. So now let's get to the meat and potatoes of the middle of this recording. Get that pen and paper ready because I got a lot of money to get you starting right now. When third stimulus passed in the spring from the federal government, it provided a lot of money, and at the immediate passage of the bill, I said to viewers of this channel, you're going to get a $1,400 stimulus check, but you're also going to be qualified for about $5,000 to $25,000 of additional money, and that you can't be tracking stimulus check to stimulus check. You need to be cashing checks like these, and guess what? They're now landing. $350 billion of them are landing, city, county, and state across the land this week and next week. And where is it? Get that pen and paper ready. First item is rent. $5,000 of it. 4 to 6 months of rent. Go get it. Where do you get it? City Hall, City Housing Authority. County Hall, County Housing Authority. State Hall, State Housing Authority. It's about 4 to 6 months of rent, $5,000. And what are the key words you say? Rent assistance because of COVID. That's it. You do not say anything about stimulus. You can also get money for utilities and also mortgage assistance and homeowners utilities. Very great, great news. Then we go over to SNAP, which is absolutely incredible, people. Wow. A family of 4 in Hawaii now gets upwards of $16,000 a year because of 2 executive orders, one from Biden, one from Trump, increasing to 15%. Wow. $16,000 for SNAP. What is SNAP? Money for food. How do you get it? Department of Agriculture or 211. Call them up and get it. And there you go. Look at this. We're only 9 minutes into this video and we've already gotten $5,000 for rent and about $15,000, $16,000 for SNAP. We are doing really, really well. But here comes the first reality check moment of this video. You want to get the money for rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and homeowners utilities. Why? When they passed the third stimulus, I told you have to be a purple hawk, and get that money before anyone else, because there's going to be a stimulus stampede. People are going to rush to get that money before you, and it's already underway. Reality check number 2 is that money is going away. It's not coming back under fourth stimulus. So when this fourth stimulus rolls out, and when fifth stimulus rolls out, there will no longer be these allocations of money. So you need to get them right now. Moreover, the eviction moratorium and mortgage forbearance are going away. They're not coming back under fourth stimulus. Also going away, all this rental assistance, rent utilities, homeowners assistance, got to get it right now. Their notion, the Democrats' idea was to give you a big cash infusion of this money now in the spring. So by the summertime, they can get rid of it and lift the eviction moratorium and mortgage forbearance, because you will be caught up. So go get it right now. And that turns me to some big, exciting, great news of free money coming from 2 places. Let's go over the first place. It's coming to you from your state. Your state is returning upwards of $5,000 to $10,000 back to you when they overpaid you unemployment benefits to no fault of your own. What's going on here? Well, the federal government just days ago stepped in and said states that had overpaid you benefits due to a computer malfeasance that asked you to return the money were at fault. They should not have done it. And when you returned it back to them, they should not have asked you to return it back. So they now have asked the states to return it back to you. Here's the example. You received unemployment benefits, your state paid you out unemployment benefits, but due to a computer malfeasance, send you an excess surplus amount of money on top of that. Asked you to return it back to them, no fault of your own, and you did. Guess what? You're getting it back. One viewer is getting upwards of $5,000 for this. It's incredible, great news. How are you going to get it? In the bank account you have on file of your state. When you're going to get it depends on the state. Reach out to the respective state, which brings me to the second big amount of money land your bank account today. It's landing today, next week, and the week after that. Incredible, great news. This money's coming from the federal government, the IRS, Treasury. Where, how, and when, and how much? Let's go over the details. First, I'm going to go over what it is. Then I'm going to go over how much it is and where it's going to land. And then we'll go over when it's going to land. All right, first let's go over what it is and how much it is. This is the taxes you paid on your unemployment benefits to IRS on your 2020 tax return. It's coming back. Great news. So here's an example. Let's say you had a $9,000 unemployment receipt of money in 2020. You got $9,000 of unemployment benefits. You filed your 2020 tax return. Of it, $5,000 was taxes on your unemployment, and $4,000 of that $5,000 was just the taxes. Excuse me, I said that wrong. Let's say $5,000 was your total tax bill, of which $4,000 of that was your tax burden on unemployment. The $4,000 is coming back to you from the federal government. Incredible, great news. Item number 2, where is it coming? In the mailbox. So virtually all of you will receive it in the mailbox to the address on file on your tax return, unless you had listed a direct deposit account on that tax return. So that mailbox will get a beige or white envelope. Inside will be a beige check written from IRS or Treasury that states refund and paid to you. Finally, when? There's actually 3 phases. IRS has identified 3 phases. Phase 1 is for single filers, no dependents, simple tax returns, no other refunds. You're getting paid already this week. Started last week. You'll be finished paid out by the end of this week. Phase 2 are complicated returns, where it involves more than what I just described, like a dependent or other refunds. You're being paid the end of this week into next week. And phase 3 will be the final week of May. Yes, everyone's getting paid in the month of May. Incredible, great, great news. But guess what? I have even bigger great news, and it turns back to Jalapa. Remember how I showed you the House proposal, the House bill for multiple stimulus checks, written by Jalapa and signed by 100+ House Democrats, was introduced and was followed by a letter to the president from both those Democrats in the House and Senate saying, we're putting in monthly stimulus checks. Well, what did Jalapa and other Democrats do in the last 48 hours? This incredible great news, jaw-dropping news. Jalapa wrote a letter and got 100+ House members to co-sign the letter. And it's written to Speaker Pelosi and Leader Schumer. It basically says one message: call the vote. Incredible. What is it saying? It's saying that it is time to get the two-bill, two-step, two-month process finished. It's already underway. They already have the bills and subcommittees for the forced stimulus check. And they're basically saying, it's time to call the vote. What are we waiting around for? Incredible great news. Calling the vote is based upon the notion that it has taken too much time and there's no other time to waste on waiting for Republicans. During this duration of the forced stimulus coverage on this channel, you have heard me talk to you about how the Republicans offered $500 billion, and then counter-offered at $500 billion, and then countered to the counter at $500 billion. They've not moved one penny. And so the reason why the letter is written by Jalopal to Speaker Pelosi and Leader Schumer is to say, yeah, you've already set the date to call the vote in July 4th, but saying now, call the vote now. What are we waiting for? Incredible great news. And it was followed up by a series of major statements by Democrat senators, yes, senators, and House members, repeating the same thing. Finish it now. What are we waiting for? They came from Kristen Gillibrand, Democrat of New York. Should we wait around for the Republicans? She responded, absolutely not, because we might lose our coalition for human infrastructure. I do not think that the White House should relegate recovery to the judgment of Mitch McConnell because he will not function in good faith. So I just think it's a terrible political misstep. Representative Ruben Gallego, Democrat out of Arizona, said in signing Jalopal's letter, said the following to press: Republicans are not being even players, and we should just move on without them. Finish it. Incredible great news. Representative Mark Pocan, Democrat out of Wisconsin, said there's no reason to wait. So what was his comment? At what point do the Republicans seriously come to the table? If Republicans don't come to the table, it doesn't mean Democrats don't serve the meal. Incredible great news. And then came the comment from Majority Whip Dick Durbin, who basically said, get it done. You can still talk to Republicans, but get it done. Democrats ought to have a timely negotiation with the Republicans, but be prepared to go to the reconciliation and finish it. And then came the incredible comment from Roy Khanna, the representative from California. I think we should move forward with our bill. Wow. This is absolutely jaw-dropping great news to start your morning with. Basically, what is happening here is that the president has made privately the certain promise to his leadership that for optics, for way it is perceived by the public, he'll continue to have meetings, lunches with Republicans up to Memorial Day, saying, hi, no, I'm not going to do that. Hi, no, I'm not going to do that. Day after day. But he understands that the two-step, two-bill, two-month process has already started and is nearing a finish line. They're finishing up the legislation, finishing up the writing, and that as of Memorial Day, they're not going to wait a single minute more. They're calling the vote. They're not going to wait any longer. The messaging right now is we can call the vote right now, but the president wants to do a few more days of lunches with no's with the Republicans. Incredible great news. What's also big news? This morning, the new unemployment number was released. If you've been with this channel for the 40-plus weeks we've been around, 400,000 subscribers in 1 year, a YouTube record. I hope you've subscribed. You haven't, to do it right now. Every Thursday morning, I have detailed the unemployment number for 40-plus weeks of this channel, always being on air. And what did the number come in today at? Low 400,000. New jobless claims at 400,000. An incredible achievement. I told you throughout the summer of 2020 that we went into the pandemic at new jobless claims at 220 or 240. But we shot up to 1 million, 1.2. We stayed at a million for over 22 weeks. We came down to 800,000. We're now at the lowest level of new jobless claims since the pandemic started. We also, however, came in with a higher number for continuing jobless claims. So people who stayed on unemployment continued to stay higher, whereas new unemployment claims came in lower. But guess what? I got other breaking news, and it's all great news about that SSI and SSDI reform under fifth stimulus. It's coming up after the commercial break in 60 seconds from now. But first, if you need help with rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, homeowners assistance, and SNAP or internet, reach out to the volunteers. They're on the community page. They're viewers just like you. The community page is in the description to this video. It's at news.lalate.com/community. It has an emoji of a house, then it links you over to a web page, which has some cats on the web page. Reach out to the volunteers to help you get that money, and I'll be back in 60 seconds with you with big exciting news about your fifth stimulus. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on Mornings LALATE with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check and fifth stimulus check. In this recording, we go over more about why fourth stimulus is heading to the finish line with a vote sooner than anticipated, potentially. Coming up, those details and more. And then we turn to fifth stimulus right now. The changing of your SSI and SSDI benefits and veterans benefits. Wow, incredible great news. But first, subscribe. This is LALATE. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. Next up, 1 million. Let's get there. Subscribe this very moment. Also, if you're in the live chat, like this video. If you haven't voted House versus Senate, vote. And tell me where you are. I'd love to hear where you're from and how the weather is today. And consider becoming a member. The link's at the top of the chat and in the pinned comment. And with that, let's get right to fifth stimulus. Fifth stimulus heats up this fall and is a two-step, two-bill process like fourth stimulus. And the fifth stimulus got a fascinating twist yesterday. And the twists are far from over. The fifth stimulus provides a lot of incredible relief. Let's go over generally what it is before we go over the specifics. It would raise your SSI and SSDI, railroad benefits and veterans benefits across the board. Then add an asset, then remove the asset limit, remove the inflationary benchmark. Add the inflationary benchmark, remove the income exclusion, and then remove the marriage penalty. All right, let's go over how this specifically works. First, they would increase your benefits. So, who's you? You. If you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, survivor benefits, or SSA, they would raise your benefits up one big time. There you go. That is fifth stimulus. Then they would add an inflationary benchmark. What's a benchmark? Every December you get a letter saying what your benefits are going to go up to the next year after that. Well, the inflationary benchmark potentially would be 2 to 4%. Most analysts have said that means that they would raise your benefits up under fifth stimulus, and then December they'd raise it up again, that additional benchmark. What you need to know about a benchmark is it goes up. It never goes down. It's a step up or a flat. So let's say it's 4% next year. You would step up an additional 4% next year. And the year after that, it's 0% inflation. Then you would say flat. You would never step down. Last Friday, we had Jeremy Siegel, a leading economist of the Wharton School of Business, saying that he thinks the inflationary rate may be 20% in December. Wow, if that's true, then your benchmark would bring you through the roof, up 20%. And that would be lifetime benefits. 2 days ago, we had one of the Fed heads out of Atlanta say he would not give us the inflationary prediction number he wants to say, but he says he's currently tracking economic growth at 4%, and that December he sees it to grow nearly 250% to 10%. That sounds like 5% inflation. Meantime, one major economist was on broadcast media this morning, and he says that so long as inflation is under 10%, we're good, and we could do 5, 6, 7, 8% inflation. So let's use an 8% inflation as an example. It would change your life for the incredible world. This would start with them raising up your benefits in the fifth stimulus, then raising it up an additional 8%. That 8% would be there your entire lifetime. And they could add them up. They could increase it year after year after that. 1%, 2%. Incredible, great news. Then they're going to remove the asset cap. The asset cap is dating back to a 1980s law. It says you can't stay on benefits and also hold more than $3,000 in an account. It's going away. You're going to need it to go away before you get those stimulus checks. Then they're going to remove the income cap dating back to a 1960s law that says you can't stay on benefits and also work. So if you want to work, you can go work. $1,000, $2,000 a month, you can go work and still stay on benefits. And finally, the marriage penalty. You either have been married and lost your benefits or have not gotten married for fear of losing your benefits because of the marriage penalty. It would go away and love would conquer all because you could get married and not lose your benefits. Incredible, great news. So when would this stimulus happen? It would happen as a two-step, 2-month process starting in September, likely to impact your benefits in around November. There you go. So let's go back to fourth stimulus and understand what you need to know going into this morning about fourth stimulus. Leading economists in the last 24 hours have said that the economy is still relatively very sensitive and very unstable. Why? First, we have commodity prices through the roof. Lumber, copper, aluminum, steel. They're coming off their highs, but they're still very, very high. Housing starts down for their worst drop in 15 years last month. Why? Because of commodity prices. Third, we have a labor issue. There is still long-term unemployment continuing. And what we learned this morning from the jobless numbers was that economists looked at that number and said, see, people did not stay home because of FPUC. People lost their jobs still. 400,000 people lost their jobs last week, which has nothing to do with the supplemental add-on to FPUC. So we have a very unstable labor market, no matter how you view it. But finally, it's important to understand that when we're looking at fourth stimulus, Democrats and Republicans universally agree that stimulus checks are needed because they are the only instrument for purposes of stimulus that gets you caught up on your bills, which is the top priority now from legislators. Circling back to that Senate proposal, the Senate proposal does that by giving you the biggest cash infusion over the shortest period of time, which is what you want. You want a large cash infusion to get you caught up on your bills. $2,000 a month over 6 months, potentially $12,000, or $1,400 a month over 6 months, $8,400. That's the monthly stimulus check, the fourth stimulus check. That is heading to the finish line. What's not heading to the finish line is unemployment stimulus. PUA, FPUC, PEUC are going away. Rental stimulus going away, as I said earlier in this video, like rental assistance, homeowners assistance, mortgage assistance, and eviction moratorium going away. But the great news is that Republican governors this week and last week, as they got rid of FPUC, said, guess what? We're going to give you a stimulus check because you have to get caught up in your bills. That shows that legislators understand that stimulus checks are the instrument to get you caught up. And I want you to get caught up because I'm next live on air in about 5 minutes from now with Mornings Crypto, our new hit show. It's a morning show live on air, and I answer your questions on air. Learn how to do cryptocurrency. It's fun. It's easy. You can start investing as little as $1 and turn a profit. It's a fun show, and I want you to tune into that. It's coming up right after this. But I'm also live with you on noontime LA at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I'll have big updates about what's going on today, and there's a lot happening out of the White House. I'll have the latest updates on that as well. And then we go into our afternoon shows, so make sure you subscribe. This is LALATE, 400,000 subscribers. Next stop, 1 million. I want you part of this family, so subscribe. Also, like this video. 2,000, 3,000 likes. If you're in the live chat, make sure you hit that like button right now. And if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member and get access to the PDFs like other members did last night. Like the letter from Jalapal, you got it as well. Stay informed, stay focused. Have a beautiful morning. I'll see you back in 10 minutes from now. And stay with LALATE for more.